By the way, congrats on the book. It's quickly climbing the Amazon charts, right?
I'm kind of stunned. I didn't expect that at all.
Oh, so congrats. Well, can you blame them? It's a fun read. I told you earlier, it's heartfelt and dishy. What more can you ask?
Yeah, you know, I really wanted to make it because I originally wanted to release it in the summer before all this started. And so I wanted it to be kind of breezy and fun and a quick read. So one of the things I've been hearing back, and which is really nice, people have kind of compared it to the web series. Like, you know, the Old Dogs and New Tricks, the episodes were just so fast and quick and ended before I wanted them to end. And now the book, I feel like I'm halfway through it. I don't want it to end yet. And that's like the most gratifying thing a writer can hear. So.
Oh, now describe Sub-Lebrity to our viewers, the queer life of a Showbiz Footnote.
It's kind of, I joke that it's like a Hollywood memoir by a non-famous actor. It's got some dish, it's got some a little bitchy moments, but it's kind of like a no holds barred story of just a working, jobbing actor and kind of the trials and tribulations. There's a little bit of romance. There's a little, there's a feud or two. But again, it's we've changed a couple names. Actors are actors, you know, and I think our stories tend to be kind of the same, whether we're big and famous or whether we're just jobbing and working in the trenches. And so I've gotten kind of a small fan base from Old Dogs and New Tricks. I really kind of wanted to give them kind of, well, I don't want to say gift. That sounds so
right.
La-di-da. But yeah, I wanted to give them something, give them a story about how the show came together and just some backstage stuff.
Tell us the genesis of it. Why Sub-Lebrity?
It started, I noticed a lot of friends and former colleagues had written books or were starting to write books, and I was just kind of thinking, gosh, you know, I joked on Facebook, well, maybe I should write my own. And a small publisher actually contacted me and said, you know, after you run in with Cindy Brady, there's probably a small market for your book. Why don't you call our editors and tell them your stories, and we'll type it up and turn it into, and I'm like, that would be cheating, wouldn't it? So I thought, you know, thank you, but no thanks. I'm going to see if I can do this myself. And that was the start of it. I originally wanted it to be kind of like essays, kind of like John Waters or Fran Lebowitz. But as I got into it, I think I kind of got sucked into the, you know, telling the story of it. So decided to go for a straightforward memoir.
I love the memories you have during childhood. I mean, how hard was it to conjure up some of those admittedly painful memories from your childhood and beyond?
You know, that's a good question, because I do talk in the book. I have this uncanny ability of kind of like blocking out bad experiences, compartmentalizing, which is really coming in handy during what we're going through now. I think because I'm so old now, 57, you know, I've kind of made peace with those memories and those stories. So actually telling them wasn't that difficult. In fact, every part of the book that I thought would be the most difficult to write turned out to be the easiest, because I wanted to tell those stories and those situations. I talk a lot in the book about Jeffrey Hartgraves, a dear friend and playwright who passed away. And I waited until the last to write about Jeffrey because I thought that's going to be the hardest part of the book to write. And I found that it was the easiest. It filled out.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really the hardest part of the book is the stuff that's not gut-wrenching or dramatic or bombastic, you know, because you're trying to make mundane stuff interesting. You know, the bigger the event, the easier it is to write, I think.
So it's very cathartic for you in writing it, right?
Absolutely. You know, I think I'm telling all my friends, write your life story, whether you want to publish it or not, because it's great therapy. You kind of like notice patterns that you might not have noticed before. In my case, I noticed that I used to have a bad habit. I've kind of gotten over it since I'm married. But when I was single, if I didn't find drama in, you know, the job or in a romance or whatever, I'd create it just because I was used to living with drama.
Yeah.
Glad I got over that.
That's good. I'm happy for you. You're not a drama queen anymore. You just have the drama flair.
I save it for the stage and the page.
That's right. Now, it's as much of a heartfelt critique of pop culture as well as an adventure down memory lane, I think.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's, you know, it's interesting writing it, kind of just the time capsule aspect of it, how, you know, kind of really seeing how much we've changed since the 70s and how, you know, when I came out in high school in 1980, that was like, and now I think it's kind of commonplace for kids to come out when they're 15, 16. And we've come a long way, baby.
Well, you know, and also I love your prose, from the heart-wrenching racism, like I said earlier, growing up in rural Indiana.
Oh, you know,
gay
you're
rights,
up there, yeah.
right? To gay rights. I mean, they're all cinematically written. I could imagine it on my head.
Oh, well, thank you. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I hope people can like kind of visualize. I mean, I hope, you know, this is my first book, so kind of was learning as I go, but I hope I paint the picture. I hope people kind of put themselves in those moments.
And you did. And here, my favorite chapter, by the way, is your relationship with television. I mean, I could identify. I knew. And here's the favorite line I like there, by the way. I knew what I was before I knew what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that to us.
I kind of, just from growing up watching Tarzan movies and William Shatner on Star Trek, I knew I was gay, but I didn't know what gay was. I didn't know what gay sex was. I just knew that, I really like it when Captain Kirk takes his shirt off.
In Charlie X.
Yeah.
I know that episode.
Or Women, when he's on that platform and he's being like cloned. But yeah, I just remember, and with Tarzan, just thinking, oh, I want to be rescued by Tarzan. It wasn't like sexual. It was more kind of a emotional reaction.
Something inside of
so I kind of knew. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm gay. When I came to terms with that, it was kind of stepping stones, you know, that process. So
and the fascination,
it wasn't like a big shock. I already knew.
Your fascination with strong women as well. There's bionic woman, Wonder Woman, you know. I mean, I can totally identify. I wish I grew up with you. I'll be part of your fantasy television or fantasy networks. That was.
I know, you can have your own network. We could have 3 networks like the real. I'd read the book to understand what that is. You know, that was actually one part I was a little embarrassed about writing, because it's like, you know, just how full-on geek do I want to come across? The guy that was pretty geeky in high school.
No, are you still friends with him? Harry? Is it?
Actually, he's we've kind of, you know, unfortunately have friends do. He's in LA somewhere. He's an actor. We just our paths haven't crossed for a long time.
Oh, because that would be kind of interesting, and you know, kind of talk about what you guys invented back when you were kids.
I know. I would love to like kind of touch base and you know, it's really sad. Friendships are kind of like marriages. Sometimes you just, the thing with Harry and I, we just kind of like grew apart. I think about him a lot. A mutual friend asked me yesterday, gee, do you think he'll read the book? I hope he does.
Well, there's always Facebook, you know.
I know. He's there. I look at him every so often and think, maybe I should. I don't know.
Yes, I say, you should friend him.
I might. You know, I called him. The last time we spoke was on my 40th birthday, which was 16 years ago.
Wow.
And it was a little tense. So I don't know.
Well, I would love that. That could be a sequel.
Never say never.
Right?
You know what? Him and me sort of like Mary Richards and Rhoda Morgenstern. You know, maybe we'll run into each other on the street, and it'll all come, you know, flooding back.
You know what? I also love reading it, but what struck me, due to the title, the footnotes on each page that became subplots almost. It's like hunting for Easter eggs.
Cool.
That's very smart.
At first, when I discovered that Kindle made them into endnotes instead of footnotes, but the fact that they toggle, they're kind of like little Easter eggs. Yeah. You know, I wanted the footnotes because I have a really bad habit, you may have noticed, of digressing, telling a story and going, oh, wait, I didn't tell you this part.
Right.
So I found the footnotes were an easy way to, like, you know, throw in an aside here and there without, oh, by the way, and derailing a story.
Right, to go off topic. But it's very, very smart. I like that.
Thank you. And I also, you know, I worked for lawyers a long time, and legal pleadings always have footnotes, and old habits die hard.
Right. Now let's talk about Susan Olsen real quick. Since you mentioned, you brought it up, tell the viewers a little bit about the whole Susan Olsen incident, which, by the way, is Cindy from the Brady Bunch, right?
Yes. Yeah. Cindy Brady. I like to say Cindy Brady instead of Susan Olsen, just because I know it irritates her. No, I did a radio show shortly after our president was elected, but before he was sworn in. It was a political talk show. And one of the hosts was Cindy Brady, who is very conservative and very pro-Trump. And the radio show itself was kind of nuts. It was like my first kind of up-close glance at that, like, Trump insanity.
Wow.
And so after the show, I felt really guilty. Like, why did I, like, normalize this? So I did a post on Facebook telling LA Talk Radio that, you know, they really should reconsider having her as a host. I thought it was dangerous to spread misinformation. Like, you can't be a liberal and a patriot and that all Muslims want to kill Americans. I mean, the bullshit was unreal. So I posted that. She sent me a really hateful private message calling me the F word and the C word and just all the words. And so I did a screen capture and posted it and said, LA Talk Radio, see, is this who you, and it turned out to be the craziest week of my life. It started trending. All the news platforms picked up on it. It was crazy. I thought in 2016, with all the madness that happened that year, that a story about a nobody and a has-been having a feud was like this big. Unfortunately, it kind of blew over, and now a lot of people don't remember it. So I'm kind of grateful. I'm like, do I want to bring this back up in the book? But the nice thing is, now that it's in the book, I'll never have to talk about it again. People can say, oh, what happened? I can flip through and read about it. So.
Well, your book is about passions, you know? It is about your passion. And one of your passions is politics. And I mean, I'm right behind you on that, you know? And at its heart, Sub-Lebrity is about fame and the things we do to make it, right?
Yes. Yeah. I hope people will come away from reading the book feeling like, you know, they don't have to necessarily attach a dollar sign to success, that you can be successful without it, you know, becoming rich or famous. That, you know, it's about pursuing your passions and following your dreams, and, you know, you can make your dreams come true underground, you know, under you know, without a lot of fuss. And so I guess the thing is, don't think that you're not successful if you're not rich. If you're happy, you're successful.
Right, exactly. Although winning the lottery may help.
That would certainly help. You can certainly rent happiness.
No, and also, you know, by the way, Leon and I met in Indiana, where we both came from. I'm from Northwest Indiana, and you're from Kokomo, right?
Kokomo, yeah.
Kokomo, yeah, and one of the reasons that bonded us together, that I got attached to you, is the show Old Dogs New Tricks.
Yes.
And for our Palm Springs folks, by the way, there's an actor there. It's a local actor. It's Jeffrey Patrick Olsen. So tell us what's going on with Old Dogs New Tricks. I know you want to have season 4, right?
Yeah, we were in the middle of our fundraising campaign when this virus stuff happened, so we suspended that for now. When things kind of start getting back to normal in 3 months or 3 years,
right.
we'll start that up again. I'm a little curious actually now. I kind of like the challenge of how would I write a sex comedy in today's environment when people are 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
So I'm liking that the challenge, and I'm also liking the idea of giving the show a proper series finale and, like, you know, wrapping it up with a nice bow.
Yeah.
Everyone's tentatively on board, so it's just we're just waiting out this disaster, and then we'll pick it up like right where we left off.
You know, like I said before, I mean, I love Old Dogs New Tricks, and you're becoming an Amazon queen. It's because Old Dogs New Tricks is also on Amazon Prime, and Sub-Lebrity is also on Amazon. It's very
God
easy
bless.
to find.
Thank you, Jeff Bezos. You know, I have to say, talking politically, I've had a few people say, Leon, Amazon.
Yeah.
But, I do believe in, like, fighting for change from within.
Yeah.
So I'm not just going to be like a quiet Amazon person. I'm sending emails saying, you know, it's time to give these guys a raise. It's time to treat, you know, the warehouse workers a little bit more money.
Yeah.
The thing about what we're learning with all of this is that, you know, a lot of essential people are not being paid essential salaries. And I hope that's something we correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of readjust.
By the way, speaking of Heartland, I love your little shout out to our friend Craig Prater.
Craig Prater. Oh my God. You know, the book was not going to end with that chapter. I had written a chapter about how show business had changed and about how I wasn't sure I still wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And then Craig contacted us and said, you know, we'd love to honor your show back in Indiana. I was like, God, that might be a really good final chapter. And it turned out even more than I expected.
So you were writing this already prior to me meeting you last year, then?
I'd actually kind of finished a draft of it a couple months before that festival.
Oh, wow.
And then I thought, okay, we'll just put it aside. Let's do the festival, see what that's like. And if it works, write it up and put it in a book. And boy, did it work. I think it's a great coda. It's a great kind of...
Oh, yeah. By the way, on a separate subject, Craig Prater is actually a good character for one of your books coming up, or films.
You know...
Right?
He would. I've often thought about if we ever do a feature film version of Old Dogs, we would set it in Palm Springs. And I mean, he knows Palm Springs, and you know Palm Springs, so I know I want you in it.
Yay!
In fact, we've talked about that. Actually, I have an idea, a storyline for you.
Yeah,
so
I can't wait.
If we pull off enough, if we raise enough to do a full season,
I can't wait.
Manny will be there.
By the way, you're one of my favorite Facebook friends as well, friends. Instagram. How are you putting your wits to good use in this time of the pandemic, besides promoting Sub-Lebrity?
Oh my gosh, you know, I'm so envious. I have Amanda Gary, who's a friend of mine and who's on Old Dogs and New Tricks. She's amazing. She's like Randy Rainbow. She's been posting really great satirical musical things. I'm so envious of these musical artists who can just, you know, entertain from home. So we've been posting episodes of the Old Dogs on Facebook, one a day, to keep people entertained. Trying to just, actually a friend of Lawrence the other day told him, thank Leon for his post. Because every so often I think, you know, I need to dial it back. I'm too strident, I'm too loud. But his friend actually told Lawrence, tell Leon that every time I get like beaten down, I feel like giving up, I see one of his angry posts and it, you know, it recharges me. So I guess I'm going to have to just keep being a bitch.
Yeah, well, go for it. You have my permission.
I'm good at it, I guess.
and tell our viewers, where are you at right now in this thing called life?
Where am I at in this thing called life? You know, it's what we're going through is actually, I think a lot of us, we're having time to kind of reflect and re-examine. I'm thinking I'm really wanting to kind of shift. I'm always going to be an actor at heart, but I'm really loving the writing and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm thinking I might write a sequel to the book about my sister, which I didn't really touch on. But she and I have quite an interesting history. I've also thought about writing like maybe 2 or 3 Old Dogs novels, not novelizations, but like fresh novels based on the series. I just, as I get older, I don't like seeing myself on screen. I mean, I was never crazy about seeing myself on screen, and I get less and less crazy about it the older I get. So it's kind of nice. You don't have to wear makeup to write. So yeah, I'd like to incorporate a little bit more of that. And you know, who knows with show business? When's it gonna come out of hibernation?
That's right. Well, I love that you're going to be still putting because your wit has been your best friend since you were a little kid. I mean, according to the book, you know.
It's got me through. It saved my life, probably.
Yeah, and your heart.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, sometimes I can be just as bitchy as anyone else. But, you know, and you know this from Indiana, I actually think a lot of it comes from that upbringing. And it's ironic. The other guys on the show, Jeffrey and Kurt and David are all from Illinois, and Bruce Hart is from Michigan. And so we all kind of have this Midwestern thing. And I do think it is, I don't know if it's true for later generations coming from the Midwest, but I think my generation and your generation is a bit younger than my generation. We were kind of raised with this kind of do unto others kind of golden rule mentality, which I just take. No matter how long I live in Hollywood and how bitter and calloused over I get, it still basically comes down to do the right thing.
And it doesn't go away.
Yeah, and don't be mean. Don't be, what is that line? There's a great line from Streetcar Named Desire about
Stella.
Stella says that being purposely cruel is unforgivable. I believe that.
Yeah. No, I believe in that too. Thank you so much.
Sometimes you do have to sometimes you do have to be firm, and God forbid sometimes a bitch, but you know, it's last resort.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much. I told you I want to talk to you live in person when we can.
I would love
Um,
that.
but for now, once again,
That's awesome.
Sublibrity is on Amazon. Just
Yes.
search Amazon. You'll find it in there. It's only $8.99 for
That's
download.
right.
It is amazing. Trust me on
Thank
that.
you.
It's
Thank
a
you.
great read. It's breezy like summer, which is coming up. And also, the Old Dogs New Tricks. You can watch it if you have Amazon Prime for free.
Yes. Or it's actually also on YouTube if you don't have Amazon Prime. And you can find the links to everything at my website, which is leonacord.com, and that's Acord with 1 C. And I've got all the links there, the show, the book, everything. So.
Aw. Well, congrats and good luck again. And kisses to Lawrence, your honey.
Will do, Manny. Thank you so much. It's great to talk to you.